morning. Welcome to the Lobsters channel. Questionably Lobster here. And what we do is we try to just make sense of stuff. I don't know. We resell Amazon, eBay, OfferUp. We haven't ventured off into Macari or Poshmark or Grail yet, but we're working there. We do a little dumpster diving. We do a little DIY. I want to thank everyone for coming in. Dee, thank you for giving me a shout out. Enjoyed your chat today. Greg, Jen, Paul, Two Hip Chicks, thanks for coming in. Greatly appreciate you guys. Deep in the Sandbox, Chris is here. We got Mac, the Batman. We got Victoria. Hola, ¿cómo estás, chica? We've got, who else? Jamie over there from the other side of the pond. What's up, my man? What's up? Glad you guys could take the time to come in today. So I'm hoping that Brandon will jump in. He's on vacation right now in Utah with Josie. He's going to be gone and out of pocket for about 2 weeks. So I'm going to try to do what I can to keep the show rolling. And we try to do a show at least once a week on Wednesdays, right after these program. And, today we're going to talk about, are you ready for this? What we all probably have. It's called Oniomania. Oniomania. It is Greek for ona or what is it? Onio or whatever you call it. Onio is Greek for sale, and mania is insanity. So we all have mania somehow or another. Junk Girl, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. There's Eminem. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Yeah, Matt, come on in. I'll drop the link. Anyone can come in today. We're on Streamline today, so we can have a panel by all means. I'm going to drop the link. Lisa and Rob are in the chat. Thank you very much. There's the link, Mac. If you want to, anyone else who wants to jump in, just grab that link. And what I wanted to talk about today, and I was actually rather proud of myself for the PowerPoint slide that I created for the thumbnail for this live that we're doing today. I'm not one for trying to get all fancy and anything. And I think as time moves on, I'm probably not even going to get all crazy with the thumbnails. But I wanted to do something for the lives when we do the show, just to kind of dress it up a little bit and give you something different and fresh to look at instead of the bins behind me. Obviously, if you've noticed, I've started to put the labels on the bins, and we're going to start putting inventory numbers on those particular ones because that's relatively new inventory. And then we're going to start moving some of the boxes and the cassettes and some of the media here. And oh, did you feel that earthquake? Some of the trinkets and whatnot will still stay. So welcome everyone. I appreciate you coming in. So the topic today that we're going to talk about is something that it's an Oniomaniac. So someone that has a compulsive urge to purchase things, and that leads into what they call CBD, compulsive buying disorder. Now, I didn't do a whole lot of research on this, and what I'm hoping, we get some input. Welcome, Mac, Batman. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
You gotta carry that voice the whole way, huh? I hope you don't ruin your voice, but I'm doing well, man. So I do admire the fact that you grab all that paper that I saw that you had with D there. So that's good that you do that you're saving the landfills immediately, and you're just spreading it out over time. And that's a good savings for you right there. So
Batman's eco-friendly.
Yeah, right. So what I was wanting to talk about today, and if anyone else wants to jump on, so we can get kind of like a panel of people to discuss, like if they feel like they want to be open about it to a point where, you can jump on and we can talk about it. But some of the things that I found that the CBD, the compulsive buying disorder, I would imagine there's like a tier, or probably like there are with other disorders that we have in the human race, of like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sure it's numbered somehow or another. I have no idea how far it goes, but I do realize that when I was thinking about the topic today, and it just dawned on me because I was junk picking today. Oh, here we go. We got Lisa and Rob coming in. What's up, Lisa?
That's me. Hold on. There you go. Okay, you got it. I caught it. Sorry.
We know why Rob's not here. He don't have no pants on.
No, actually, he's getting ready to go. He's got to go off today. But I heard you talking about compulsive buying, so I thought, man, does that sound like this?
And the reason I thought of the topic, it was on my way back from dropping off my daughter and meeting her at school. I did a dumpster dive, and I only picked out a couple things. I found a jacket, a pair of sneakers that need to be cleaned up, a flexible dryer gas line that I'll probably recycle, and a plastic tote that's kind of got a broken lid to it. And I started thinking about it. I was like, these things are still decent. But the person who owned them, or the multiple people that owned them, didn't think they were. And the jacket, I mean, it's a large. I might be able to put one of my kids in this jacket after I wash it. The shoes might be reusable. I can scrap the aluminum, and I can use the tote for out here. Then it got me thinking, it's like, that's why I have so many things in my garage, because I pick up everything from aluminum cans to coins.
I jumped on the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And then going to like the thrift stores is probably my weakest point.
Thank you.
So if anybody can relate to that,
Hello,
Rob, how are you?
Hello, Rob.
Thanks for coming in.
He's talking about buying. They have like a compulsion to buy stuff.
Oh, we don't have that.
Well, some of the things I found that that was based on the internet, and I know that a lot of it's not true, but there is really no official description of it in the DSM. What is that? The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders.
Oh, it just hasn't caught up yet.
So the behavioral addiction and things of that nature, it's really not identified yet. But like I was saying earlier, there's probably tiers of it at certain levels.
That surprises me, because with all of the hoarding and that's been out there, I would think they would have, because they definitely say it's due to mental disorder, but maybe they're saying it's based on other mental disorders that makes them have that behavior. I don't know. Right.
Now, do you guys get flustered, or you get excited when you see a clearance sign or a discount measure for an item?
For me, it's more of when we buy stuff, I like to buy in bulk. We've talked about that because we get the better prices.
Right.
So that's kind of like when we go to the pound store, we go to our bins.
Right.
And you walk in there, and there's a rush knowing that you're buying it by the pound, so you're getting it dirt cheap. We've averaged it out before. Most things come out to be about $0.25 a piece. And so it just gets it just something kind of takes over sometimes, because sometimes we'll say we're going to go in there, we're not going to buy very much, and we come out with a full buggy full, or we take bags with us, and we'll fill every bag we take.
That's kind of like me at the Dollar Tree.
And it's just, and then we go, why did we buy this?
Right. That's exactly.
Why did we buy this?
If you think that and apply that to like the startup of the dollar stores, the Family Generals or the Dollar Generals, that the concept is there, the power, the empowerment of spending money, even though if it's $1, gives you that endorphin rise of your hormones.
People, they have that thought it's only $1.
Then
it's
only
$40,
$50 later. Yeah.
And with us, it's only $0.25. It's only going to be about $0.25,
Right.
But I will tell you, the last time we went in, we said, because we're trying to be really good this year, we only spent $3.
Nice.
And we were very selective when we came out with a paper bag full, one paper bag full. That's all. So I was proud of that. But again, we got a whole paper bag full of stuff for $3.
Yeah. You know, that reminds me of like when I find a deal or when I find something in the dumpster or on the side of the road or however, and I think of like, oh, what a deal this is, and I could sell it. I always think of those things that I've sold for a lot of money that I got for very inexpensively. But I don't think of the stuff that still sits a year later.
Right.
You know,
Right.
kind of block it out.
Right.
What do you think, Mac? You in that same category?
The only problem I have is I always run out of money.
That goes. I think that goes across the board for everybody.
I mean, I would buy everything, but I always run out of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes you have to be frugal, though. You know, you really gotta watch what you spend to keep that snowball effect going. You know,
I got a budget now.
Yeah.
When I carry cash with me, it's a little bit. I look at things a little bit more different because I'll have $400 and I have to replace that $400 before I could spend it. You know.
Now,
what I mean?
when you do your budget, Mac, for your sourcing, do you have a goal set in mind of like, okay, I've got $400 to go and source with. I've got X amount of time before I have to replenish it. Or do you look at like, I want to double it, I want to triple it over a period of 3 months or 2 months or whatever? I mean, how do you gauge that?
I do most of mine in bulk, and I try to look. You know, like I bought this past month, I bought 40 kids DVDs for $30.
Right.
It was one set of DVDs that I could see I could make my money back, and it was selling crazy. It took me 3 days to sell that one CD set for $67.
Now you buy media in bulk. When you say bulk, you mean like the series and the book sets and things like that?
Ads on Facebook Marketplace.
Right.
And buy storage units. That's kind of like the reason why I set a goal, a budget, is so that way I don't spend too much on storage units, because I got a 2-car garage right now full of stuff, and I've slowed down my buying and listing now. I mean, listing what I have, kind of like your death pile challenge.
Yeah,
that was good. You know,
well, that was one of the reasons why I did that death pile challenge, was to keep myself in check. I mean, I wasn't expecting anybody to follow along. Elise and Rob, they're doing their thing with theirs. But if you really think about it, I mean, we've got so much inventory. I mean, sure, every reseller has inventory that hasn't been listed, but yet we still go out and we still purchase because we don't want to miss that deal. We don't want to miss that golden nugget that's going to, pay our water bill or whatever the case may be for the month.
But here's the problem I have is and I've seen it time and time again on my own inventory, is I'll sit on something for 2 or 3 months, and what I could have got for it 2 or 3 months ago is way down in price now. So I've lost money because it's sitting there and not listed.
Yeah. You buy it at the time and you scan it and you see like, oh wow, this is selling for this, and then months later you finally get to it and you're like, damn, it's already tanked.
Yep.
That's what happened with Rob's last stuff he bought for Amazon. We were just talking about that this morning. He had bought stuff to send into Amazon, but by the time he got ready to ship it in, there had already Amazon was selling it, or there were other buyers in on it, and it wasn't worth it. So we ended up selling it on eBay for less than what he expected to get from it.
Now, do you guys gauge your eBay prices to what Amazon is kind of going for, or vice versa?
No, we don't sell a lot of new stuff. We don't sell a lot of things that probably would be on Amazon. Most of our stuff is used. So, but I mean, if we do have things, then yeah, we do. But we always try and beat the Amazon price, because usually if you don't, that's your only advantage you've got, is to beat the Amazon price, because Amazon's already got the prime shipping going in its corner. So you got to do something to try and get the business back.
Right. Yeah, somebody who buys a lot in bulk is Greg over there at No Money G with all those tools.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
like to get his input on that, because that to me seems like something like all three of us have already pretty much mentioned, like buying in bulk and having that multiple quantity for that one listing seems to be the easiest, the most simplest thing for any reseller to ever do, whether it be on Amazon, eBay, or other particular platforms. So there's Grillin. Thanks for coming in. I'm just going to pay homage to some of the people that are in the chat real quick. So Grillin's in the house. Marie, we've got In It to Flip It. Welcome. Gary's in there. My fellow San Diegan there. Yeah, we're gonna get ready to do a Sonny's in the house. Gary and I are gonna try to get together and do like a little meetup, maybe do a little video of an RA kind of a thing.
That would be good.
Lynn, Chris, old school picker. I don't know why none of y'all are trying to jump in here. We got room for 3 more people. Uh-oh. Where's Batman?
He had to go fight crime. He had to fight crime.
Bill Stoner, thank you, sir, for coming in. What a name. And you know what, Bill? I love your intro to your video. That's
you know,
crazy.
I asked him, I said, is that your real name? And he said, no, it's William.
That's funny. Jen, nice to see you. Dee's in here. So hopefully everyone's doing good. But yeah, I was thinking about that today, Lisa. I was like, you know, at some point, I got to really kind of control what goes on as far as buying. And it's like, I have such a hard time. Today, when I picked up this stuff from the dumpster, I always go through the same route, and it's through an alleyway. Purposely, I go through an alleyway because there's 2 apartment complexes, and they're huge. And there's just like roll-off cans and dumpster cans, and I'm constantly pulling stuff out of there.
Yeah.
Constantly. I cannot control myself. And it hurts me when I see an aluminum can on the side of the road, and I'm thinking, you're going to save the planet. You're going to make a nickel. You know, it's just all these things all these voices go on in my head. But sometimes it's tough. Good morning, Sonny.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
How are you, buddy? How you doing?
Good. Did Lisa just freeze? Or she's
No.
just a statue?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, y'all just carry on. I'll be back. Don't worry.
Lobster was asking. I keep telling him that I'll jump on with them, and it's just my time difference that I can't get on with everybody.
Yeah. So we're trying to get Wednesday mornings to be our routine for everybody, and then I do the lates just kind of like sporadically.
Oh, that's right. Brandon's in
Utah. Yeah, he's at a sausage festival with a bunch of boys in the mountains.
He's on a vacay.
He's spending some time with his girlfriend.
Lobster, I got someone who contacted me after we did a couple of our garage videos who told me that since she watched our videos, she realized she was a hoarder. So I didn't know how to take that really, but I mean, in a way I thought, well, that's great. I mean, she said she finally came to the realization that she's hoarding stuff, and she has been for years. And so she's now signed up on eBay, and she's going to try and sell her stuff. So I thought, that's really, I'm glad that helped. And, you know, that all goes back to, that was what you, I always say this, when you were one of the first people that came in Rob and I's lives, and I believe it was you that said, oh, we got hoarders that sell. And,
that's because I can relate to you. That's why I said that.
And at first you think, and then we're like, yeah, we kind of embraced it and said, yeah, that's our problem. We are hoarders that sell. But that was the best comment you could have ever made.
Yeah, and I didn't mean that to be like hurtful or derogatory.
No. It shifted our attitude and thought, yeah, you know what, we really are. And that's what we're doing now. He's bringing stuff in from the garage. We haven't been able to get back out there because of his toe issues, but
yeah, of course.
We're still listing.
I think it's got to be like, I'm going to say, to be someone who collects things. And I was thinking about this along my stroll home. It's like to be a CBD or whatever you want to call it, a compulsive buying person. There's got to be tiers, like tier 1, tier 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's say 5 be the highest. And you just buy stuff and bring it home, and you don't do anything with it.
Right.
But I'm thinking, like, what stage? I was like, what stage am I in? Why? I'm like, am I a 3? Am I a 2? Am I someone who buys something with the intent of selling it, not keeping it, because I don't like to keep shit. I don't like to keep anything other than the clothes on my back and the money I make from selling the stuff. So it kind of got me thinking about it. I was like, you know, if I could just sit here all day and sell things and know that I was making my quota every day, that'd be good to know. But I still have to go outside of the house like Sonny and Mac. And, you know, you used to do it too before you became a full-time seller. You have to go work for the man. There's just that security blanket that we all had or want or need.
All right, I'm gonna give you some. Let's see if my phone will work here.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, this is all media and little toys right there.
Wow.
And well, we're getting a tour. This is the first time anybody's ever seen this. I try to hide it.
Behind the scenes of the Batman cave.
That's all my listings of video games, and a few listings here. There's my movies. And remember, I was telling you about a 2-car garage.
Oh, there you go. Look at you.
That's my listed material here.
I like those bins. Those are nice bins to have. They're nice and heavy duty.
There is all my unlisted.
Wow.
All of that. I've been trying to organize. But yeah, these bins right here, ones that have the top.
Yeah, those are nice.
I get them for $5.
Yeah, those are nice, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I don't know what you call me. I guess hoarder. I mean, there's another side of the garage over there that's got more. So,
well, I can see all 4 walls. So you got me, you got me beat on that. But I have discovered one of my walls, so I'm excited about that.
Lobster doesn't show his garage anymore.
This
I'm actually behind there. I'm working on the shipping shelf right now. So I'm gonna actually put a table over there, and run another light over there so I can just do the shipments from that area.
I'm more of a chaos organized person. Like I know where everything's at.
Exactly.
Thrown on the floor.
Exactly.
In the fridge, in the microwave.
Yeah.
But once my wife moves something, I lose everything. I don't know where anything's at.
Yeah.
So she's learned after I've been like 3 years now reselling, and she's learned not to touch nothing anymore.
I showed my wife a lot of Josh's video the other day, yesterday. I think it was yesterday I saw it, where he went on that tour of that warehouse of buying stuff. The guy
Mr. Buys a lot.
Oh my God.
He does buy a lot.
Oh my God. And I told her, I said, and you think my pile is messy? That's not messy. That's kind of organized compared to what I've got. That's a lot of stuff right there.
He has 2 warehouses.
And he just bought a Sears. He just bought out a Sears.
I bought a Sears salmon last night, but not a Sears.
Yeah, they just closed down a bunch of other stores. I think nationwide they're only going to keep like 180.
Yeah, they're closing one. It's ours.
The ones here in Vegas they tore down.
5 years.
5 years.
The Hoarders Hangout. Is that what we're going to call this now? The Hoarders Hangout?
I like it.
But that's okay. I'm in rehab. I'm trying to redeem myself.
This is a support group for hoarders.
Yeah. When you're
I don't know if I'm going to be supportive. I'm more of encouraging.
Well, we're trying to keep you from ending up like we are, Sonny. We're going to have an intervention right here with you. Okay, be careful, or it could look like this.
I'm an instigator.
Yes. Now, see, I think really, I mean, and I, like I said, once I started paying, I keep a cash on me now. And once I started spending that money and seeing that it's not getting replenished, it makes it a different. And seeing all this stuff that I do have that I can list and make money out of, I mean, it's just, you look at it a different way, because if you look at Brandon, the way he runs his, and then part-time pickers, if you notice, everything that they do is clean. Mm-hmm. They won't buy nothing until it's listed, or their debt piles are very small. So they're making the most amount of money by doing that. And what's the other one? Commonwealth Picker. His stuff is like real organized. We're losing money because we're so unorganized.
They've got that military background. I mean, we
lost that.
Yeah, I've lost it somewhere. I think you lose it with age. Start thinking about geriatric, skilled nursing at some point. But Yeah, that like part-time picker. I think he's a cop or something, isn't he? Or prior military.
Yeah,
and then Brandon, obviously. I can't explain Brandon though. Brandon's just a unique kid altogether, regardless of the branch of service. I mean, he's a young kid. I mean, I don't know of anybody his age that's doing what we do. So that,
I
to
wonder
me,
why Lisa wasn't talking.
You can take it. It's fine.
but oh,
But yeah,
Canada,
you think of it as we're losing money. You know, you look at it as a different perspective, because that's all money that's sitting there.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Yeah, I had a dead pile video probably like a month ago now, and everything but one item sold from that video. So I probably made around $300.
Nice.
Great. They sold fast too, and I'm like, wow. And I think that's 2 weeks after that or a week after that, I was telling Lisa and Rob in their live chat that I wasn't gonna drift anymore, and so I knocked it out. And she was bluntly honest, saying, you know, they tried that and it didn't work. You know, just do as much as you can, get very little. Because you can't say, like, when you go to thrift stores or anywhere that you go to pick stuff, you can't say you're just going to get one item or budget off of $5 just for a video. Because if you come across an item for $10 that's worth $200, you're not going to do that to yourself. You're missing out. So when you said that, it just opened my eyes to like, okay, you're right. And that's why I like the community. People are real and helpful and insightful.
Since January, we spent less than $30 sourcing, and that $30 has brought us in probably over $300. So we still have some of it left. So I don't regret spending that $30 that we did, which for us to only spent, we're almost 2 months into the year to have only spent $30 sourcing is huge.
Right.
And you're still selling.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. He's bringing in the stuff from the garage that we've got already unboxed, and I've started listing clothes. And so far, I sell a piece of clothes about every other day, which in as many clothes as there is on eBay, I'm totally okay with that. You know,
are you selling all your clothes on eBay, or did you jump over to another platform, Lisa?
I have some on Mercari. I mean, I cross post on Mercari and Grailed. I'm not going into Posh until after the summer, the second part of the year, only because I want to get everything, all the other platforms that we've expanded out to. I want to get them up and going, and then I want to learn Posh before I jump over there. I've sold on Posh, but I really don't understand it. I want to understand it and know what exactly I need to be putting over there instead of just willy-nilly putting everything over there.
Hey, Shane has a question for you, Lisa. He wants to know, or she wants to know, if you've seen a drop in sales with not a lot of sourcing, or if you're seeing the same traffic.
No, because you have to remember that even though we're not sourcing, I'm still putting new items on because we're bringing out stuff that was in our death pile. So for anybody that's looking at our store, they're still seeing new items being put on all the time. Yeah. So in fact, we've done really well in February. February's been a really good month. So I would say we've seen an increase in sales. And I think that's just because we're getting back to being more consistent of putting on, you know, so many items every day.
Right. I do think that's true to heart too, because I've increased my listings, and I've also started to tinker with the promotion percentile by increasing them, and then doing the drop the price or whatever it is for an item that you know how they're sending you those little notifications. And every day I'm getting at least 2 or 3 orders that I wouldn't have gotten had I not suggested to lower the price on an item.
I think right now is a good time to be listing, especially as much items as you can with the dead piles. Right. Because of the taxes, everybody gets that money and they're millionaires. And there you go. Now they want to buy stuff.
April's always been the biggest month for me, bigger than Christmas. Believe it or not.
Not only that, you want to clean your death piles up so that way you're getting ready for garage sale season. You want to be able to build that back up.
You need to build it up for the winter.
Ours is going to be a whole year experience. It's going to take us probably through the whole year to get through it. It's going to be a journey. It's not a short trip. It's going to be a journey, but we really have dedicated ourselves to doing it. And with YouTube, we can hold ourselves accountable for it. So I think we're really going to try and stick with it. And again, like Sonny was saying, doesn't mean we're not going to source. You know, we definitely are still going to go buy some yard sales. But we're going to be very deliberate in what we buy. And I call it buying with purpose or sourcing with purpose. It's going to be, the purpose is going to be, it's going to have to be something that's really going to make me a decent amount of money. I'm not buying things just because they're a quarter anymore.
Right. Hey, I saw Brandon just jumped in.
Yeah. Hello, Danny May, Bill. Who we got inside there?
Hey, did you guys happen to see Danny May's scam video she put out?
Yeah.
Oh, she got scammed?
No, she's just alerting people.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, that's always the case when you have somebody in the chat and you're checking out their channel, and they have, in her case, she mentioned they have like multiple avatar names or whatever. And they had like over 100,000 subs, but with no videos. Wow. I'm not gonna sub to somebody that doesn't have any videos with that many subscriptions, you know.
No,
I
agree.
I've only subbed to some of the people that do not have subscribers because they're always in our live chats.
Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like
for the ones that you're not aware of,
I feel like what they're saying, they're eventually going to get to sharing their work because it sounds like they're resellers. They're just not making videos.
Right, right. Yeah, I think I saw one that Thrifting Lounge put out today. It said something to the effect, was it Thrifting Lounge or was it Nevermore Antiques? It was Nevermore Antiques. He sent out a message saying that this guy's been watching him for 5 years. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he wanted to do a shout out. He only had like 45 subscribers. And I think from what I've seen in his videos, the guy's from San Diego. So I don't know. We'll see. I might be able to connect with him and Gary, and we'll do a little meetup here in the West Coast. Take the show on the road.
Lobster, where are you at?
Got it.
In San Diego?
Oh, it's like 4-hour drives with the way I ride.
Well, the way you drive, yeah. The way I drive, since I'm older, it might take me about 17 hours.
It's only about a 6-hour flight for me.
Yeah, it's about a 6-hour drive.
We won't discuss how far it's for me. It's quite far.
About a 6-hour flight too for you, ain't it?
I don't know. All the way to where? California?
Yeah.
No, I think it'd be a little bit. Well, I guess my time is changing too as I'm going over there, right?
Right.
Yeah, you would go back into time by 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Liable to get there before I left, right?
Yeah. Halfway through. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is with that CBD, it says that with the shopping buying behavior that leads to distress and impairment, and it also talked about it actually affects your sex drive. Now, I have to admit, there's a few things in life that I enjoy, that be one of them, and chocolate. So those two things release those hormones that I need, those endorphins. And I think shopping and thrifting does the same thing. I have to go to a thrift store, whether I buy or not, and it takes a hard Rob to not want to do it. And I'll keep my hand right on my pocket to remind me, there's money, boy, don't spend it. I come out like I feel like I'm sweating, like I'm having DTs or something. But I've been doing that a lot lately because of that no sourcing thing that I'm trying to do. And it's tough. It's really tough. But I want to film it.
Lobster, are you a white chocolate? Dark chocolate?
Any kind of chocolate, but I like dark chocolate.
Just in case somebody wants to send you some chocolates.
There you go, yeah.
Dark chocolate's good.
Really
it's actually healthier for you.
I think it's, I was going to say, I think it's healthier for you, right?
Releases more serotonin, which is the happy whatever in your brain.
Lisa, I don't pronounce words I can't spell.
Well, I will tell you, I think, you said it leads to sex life. I think clutter is which is a byproduct of buying so much stuff. Clutter is a big thing that affects people in many ways. It leads to depression.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a clean, organized area.
I'm sorry, I'm reading Bill's comment.
All right.
No, clutter is a big thing too. because
You know,
I know when I get too cluttered,
mhm.
I start getting anxious and my PTSD kicks in and I'm just
Yeah.
flustered.
Yeah.
But when I
Yeah.
clean it up, I just feel comfortable and
There's a sense of like satisfaction of, and when I put the labels on these bins yesterday, I sat and looked at it for a couple of minutes. I'm like, yes, finally, there's some sort of progression going on here. And there'll be times where I'll open that door to come into the garage and I'll turn on the light. I'm like, not today.
But you know, there's also, you know, I've noticed with myself is like when I get this area that I'm in is my listing area, and once I get that cleaned up, I'm like, man, I can go buy more stuff. But I don't look out in the garage part. And it's like, you know, well, I've got to clean that up before I go buy more stuff. You know, when you get that cleaned up,
yeah,
you know, and you're like, oh, I can go source now. You know, I got it all nice and clean.
Yeah.
I keep my desk area clean, very organized, because we have so much. It's a disorganized, organized mess. Kind of thing that you guys were talking about. I know where my stuff is. I know where things are. But since I can't have the whole thing organized right now, if I can keep my space organized, then I'm good. I'm good.
Was that your death pile?
No, that was my desk.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a death pile. Like, man, if I had a death pile like that, I'd be going sourcing now.
Sonny has to do hopscotch to get to his chair every day.
I gotta jump on boxes just to get out the door.
I had to do that this morning, and it got to me. I'm borderline OCD, so this stuff is just like driving me nuts. I mean, I'll do 25 to 50 listings today, but I'll spend most of my time like organizing it before I list it, then list it.
Right.
It's just like, ugh, you know.
Listen, there's channels on YouTube where that's what people do. They organize and they clean, and they make tons of money just doing that. So that's why I'm thinking, man, and we gained so many subs when we were doing those garage videos. I really think people are interested in the hoarding aspect and how you come out of it.
Speaking of which, I want to just give a shout out real quick to Hit Him and Submit Him. He's a good friend of mine, and that is one organized cat. He has the cleanest freaking house I've ever seen in my life, and he's now starting his videos on his channel, and it's satisfying to look behind him when he does it. He does toys. He knows a lot about, you know, the toys that he collects, and when you see his backdrop that he has, it's tranquil. So if anybody wants to give a look-see on that, take a look at that. So if you ever get depressed or you feel like the PTSD is kicking in and the meds aren't working, take a look at my AKA Allen guy down there. He'll make you feel better.
That's what I feel about Tim's over the years. When I see his cabinets and his display over everything, it's just soothing to watch how organized he is, but just how beautiful his display is of his pieces. It's really nice.
That I can go listen to Chris Thrift BCQ. Just his voice is soothing to me.
Yes.
He's super calm.
I can just close my eyes and everything's good, you know?
Right? Very calming. Every time I get on there, it's been a while, but we do talk in chats. And I think he was on here earlier. He still might be lurking, but I always kind of give him a hard time. I'm like, hey, do the jazz voice, bro. And he does it.
Did you see Harry went over 900 subs? So I want to see.
Did he really?
Congratulations, Harry.
Where's Harry? Where's Harry at? There he is. Harry, what's up, my man? 900. You're only 100 away from the barbecue dinner. Awesome.
Yep. I fly under the radar. I don't need
I picked them up. All right.
That's crazy.
Okay. I gain 2 and then I lose 4. You know.
I
always make somebody upset.
Oh, I'm looking at my other account, and I'm like, I'm not subbed to Harry, but I was like, oh, I'll go ahead and sub to him on my other account.
Triple D is in the house.
Yeah, I see that.
I've been wanting more dumpster divers. Well, I rarely see them, but dumpster divers have started having what sold videos because they always show, you know, what they're rumbling through, but I haven't seen any of them that I've come across with what sold videos.
Now, I'll be honest, dumpster divers give me anxiety because I worry for safety. I mean, I know a lot of them aren't going inside there, but I still worry about them.
What's that?
What's up? I'm taking your spot.
Batman.
So, Brandon, I was telling everybody you were at a sausage party in the mountains in Utah.
No,
Party?
I'm at a sausage party on this panel right now.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it, Lisa. My wife took mine years ago.
Yeah. I've been Lisa, don't worry. I've been married so many times I don't have much left.
Lobster just goes through the thrift stores with chocolate in his pockets.
Yeah, I just keep melted chocolate in my pocket. I'm like the 6'2", 300-pound ET looking for a way to get home.
I don't have to worry about any of that. I got fixed.
There you go.
Crazy.
Batman voice and all.
Yeah, I noticed Georgina brings up a good point. The dumpster diving community is massive with their subscriptions, and people are just fascinated. I think what it is people that aren't able to do dumpster diving, they get their fix on watching the videos on YouTube. Because I noticed, like with reselling, kind of going off the sidebar here, but with reselling community, kind of packed the circle as far as like the max. I don't think we're gonna be like the beast mode and have like over 45 million subscribers. But you know, I think who in the resale community has the highest subs?
Probably Raleigh Roots.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's Raleigh Roots.
Raleigh, and then the Bearded Pickers, what, at around 70 something, maybe 50 something.
Lonnie's pretty high up there too, isn't he?
It's got like 15,000 at least with the shed one. I don't know about the other ones. Maybe
what
more.
About Rockstar Flipper? He's up there, isn't he?
He's at 98,000.
98,000.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, he's almost there.
Folks, I gotta let y'all go. I gotta get ready for trabajo for work.
All right, bud.
Bye, Sonny.
Right.
Bye, everybody. I'll jump.
Adios, amigo.
I'll check y'all on the live listening.
Andale.
See you.
See you clean and organized later.
Wendy says treasure hunting with Jeebus has over 100,000.
Yeah, but they're mostly doing like storage units. They're not really a reselling thing. I mean, they just they buy storage units. That's about like if you look at
they got to get rid of it somehow, right?
Right, but they don't show a lot of reselling videos and stuff.
Yeah, but you got to look at that stuff too.
Like what the hell's what the hell's has got quite a bit.
Yeah,
reselling there's so many different facets to reselling.
Right.
There's so many different things. We've got dumpster divers. We've got people that just do storage lockers. You've got people that do scrapping and pick up stuff off the side of the road. Look at taco stacks, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
And then you have to look at some of these guys that have large numbers. I mean, let's be honest. They're more of a YouTube personality than they are resellers at that point. Yeah. Because that's where their money's coming from, their YouTube. Not saying all of it is, of course, but I mean, not with Raleigh Roots either. They have, they have their thing, but there's a lot of people that when they get to a certain point, they become more about YouTube than they do about reselling. And
they appeal to more than just resellers.
Yes.
They appeal to a different type of audience than
what
sold videos or how to clean your garage. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they appeal to more of a different aspect of people than what resellers do.
Mm-hmm.
Why does Brandon look like he's being interrogated by the FBI with his black silhouette?
In a way, I was. No.
So, how's your trip, friend?
It's good so far. It's the first time I've seen snow in like 5 years.
Wow. Did you go pee in it yet? Did you go write your name in it?
I'll probably go do that.
You're at the soon-to-be in-laws house, so you got to be on your best behavior.
The in-laws. The in-laws.
Yellow snow. Don't eat. No.
Yeah, don't eat the yellow snow. That we know that in Florida.
We're going to a observatory tonight. I've never done one of those either.
Observatory?
Yeah.
We used to have one that did a show at midnight with a Pink Floyd album.
Say again?
They would do Pink Floyd's out the Wall album, and they would do a laser light show in the observatory.
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna do any sourcing while you're in Utah?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sourcing.
Oh yeah. Take them out today. We're going to go to breakfast/lunch, and then take them to some thrift stores. Little late birthday present.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
I'm excited. Seems to like this stuff.
So did you call Donald Trump to get permission to take your little 2-week hacienda there? Did you get permission?
Yeah, that's what I had to do.
They had to shut down the Air Force while you were gone, right?
Yeah, they need me.
They need you or they want you, big boy? Oh. So, hey, whatever happened to that last order that you were talking about?
I haven't done anything with it. I really just.
Is it still pending for payment?
Yeah, I got to cancel that right now.
Yeah, it's like over 4 days, so it's under.
That's the one you did free shipping, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, Brandon, at what category, if we were to put compulsive buying disorder into 5 steps, what number do you think you are?
Say again?
What number do you think you lie within this, let's say, 5 steps of compulsive buying disorder, 5 being the highest, like beyond repair, and 1 being the basic?
Compulsive buying for like selling or just in general?
Just in general, like just being compulsive about buying or getting things, I guess we could say. Because we were just talking about reselling, dumpster diving, liquidating things to make money. But, I'm sure if we were to sit down and break down every step, and this might be something that we could talk about at a later show, but, if 5 being the worst, like you would buy things and then just not do anything with it. You just take it home, put it in a room, and that'd be it. 1 being like maybe you buy a couple things, you use them, you resell them, or whatever the case may be. Where do you think you lie within that?
Reselling a 4, personal, probably a 1 or a 2.
Yeah.
I'm pretty different when it comes to buying things that I feel like I'm going to sell eventually.
You collect basically to think down the road in the sense where you're going to make money on it.
The exception is that Lego Star Wars Millennium Falcon that I have, the one that I showed you.
The one you got for your birthday. Yeah,
that's like one thing that never gets sold.
Let me ask you this: being the age that you are, and I got you in the hot seat, why do you do that? Is it because of your upbringing as a child? You think?
No, that's not
no. It has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with survival.
I mean, I don't know. I've always been like that, but in general, it just never has been a problem.
Do you do it because you enjoy it?
Yeah.
So you don't see it as a job, right? You just see it as a fun thing to do and the enjoyment of getting money at the end of the day.
Yeah. For the most part, that's how it is.
Mac, what do you get out of it?
Freedom. I do it because
that's true. It does have freedom to it. It does have freedom.
I do it part-time, and it's just I have 3 days off. It gets me out of the house, and my wife, she's doing clinicals and schooling right now, so I don't tend to be home alone. So I just do listing, and she had to quit her job, so between doing eBay, DoorDash, and working my full-time job
and fighting crime. Don't forget the crime fighting.
So we had to make up income somewhere. So, and we was luckily enough that our bills are very, very minimum. So we was able to pay our house payment up till she graduates school. And then all we got covers our electric and phone bills. And that's we don't have no car payments or anything like that. Right. So I've been lucky enough here past few, like I said, I've started writing down and getting more organized and writing down, what my profit margins is and stuff like that. Cause I really didn't know. I mean, Like I bought some Les Miles CDs. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but he's some kind of workout guy. I paid $2.99 for 7 CDs. I sold all 7 of them for $126. I made $70 by the time I shipped it off. I wouldn't have known that before. So and I take all that money and put it into Robinhood, which is a stock app, and I put it all in stocks.
There you
all
go.
my money. But I do replace the $400 that I use for my sourcing before I transfer anything over to my bank account.
That's good.
That's really good. That's hard to do sometimes, you know, to have that regimental mentality to make sure you cover everything that you have, keeping yourself on a budget.
Yeah,
my wife doesn't know what budget is.
You know,
Lisa, you and Rob, I think if I remember correctly, you guys bought the house you live in with sales from eBay, correct?
Yes, but I mean, we didn't buy it outright. We still have, I think we owe about 6 more years on it, but it's almost paid off.
Yeah.
And same thing. All our vehicles are paid for, you know, we don't have a lot of bills. So we didn't adopt that lifestyle until we started reselling, you know,
right.
Because you don't have that guaranteed money coming in. So we needed to make sure that if we had a low month, you know, when we started out, that we'd be able to cover everything. And we've just kind of kept that principle going forward. We try to pay cash for most of our stuff when we can and try to just incur as small debt as possible.
Yeah, that's the best way to go. Mm-hmm. Especially when you can buy something for pennies to the dollar and then you turn around and sell it and make a huge profit on it. I don't mind spending money. That's with me. My wife thinks differently, but she doesn't see inside my head that if she gives me, like yesterday, she gave me a bunch of receipts for like $235. And I just gave her the money. I was like, here you go. And then I look at it like this. I'm like, well, I made a lot of money here and there and everywhere else in between, but it didn't cost me $235. It did in the sense of transferring it over to her. But in the initial investment, it probably cost me, you know, less than $100 based upon what I sold to get that $235. So that's how I kind of cool my jets about, you know, the budget. So, I mean, there is a limit. We all have limits, obviously, because if I was rich, I wouldn't be doing YouTube and I wouldn't be selling online. But
well, just like, for example, we have $75 in sales today and our all-in cost is less than $2, like $1.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So if you go out to, if Rob was to say to you, let's go to dinner tonight. Let's get some dinner in, a little sexy time. And then I would be like, okay, let's go. And then I would be there the whole time thinking this whole evening is going to cost me $2.
You know what? We sometimes we think that, like when we pay the utility bill, you know, okay, we paid this $200 utility bill with less than $5. So really.
Oh no, she froze it. She's gone.
$5. There, I'm back. Maybe you should pay the internet bill. No, but like I said, I don't know if you heard me, but like sometimes we pay our electricity bill. Say it's $200, and our all in on that $200 was $5. So basically, I'm only paying $5 for my electricity for the month.
Tell Rob to go outside of the house and go to the minimum point of entry where the internet comes through and spit on it. I hear it works better.
The only problem, Robin, is he'd have to get his pants on.
No, he has pants on. He's actually he's making a deal. He's wheeling and dealing with a pawn shop in Gainesville. So he's driving over there today to take care of a deal. So
Brandon had to go. He had some family. Someone stole the throw pillow. All right, brother, if you're still listening, I'll see you when you get back. We're going to do another one on Wednesday. Nice. All right. I think one of the things that I remember seeing, Lise, and I'm going to throw you in as being a woman under the bus on this one. It said that women have more, have more of a compulsive disorder buying attribute than men do.
Probably.
I'm going to disagree a little bit on that. I think it's when I do DoorDash now, and it's more the younger generation is doing it. I mean, I walk up to some of their houses and you could just, you know, I've walked up to a couple and they'll meet me at the driveway because they don't want me to see them open their door and be piles and piles of stuff. But they don't want to get outside, so they'll order food for me to deliver it. And I've walked up to someone who I would say was in their late 20s, and I delivered their food, and you could just see. I don't know if I want to say they was resellers, but I don't know, because there was 6 or 7 Amazon packages on their doorstep. And you look, when I delivered their food, you could just see piles and piles of Amazon packages at their door. I mean, in their living room. And it's just, and I don't have no right to judge because, you know, they come to my house. I'm a reseller, you know, they're going to say, man, look at it.
I'm going to say this. I think when QVC and the Home Shopping Network, and when those things came online, I think that helped fuel a lot of people that they have a need. And sometimes I don't even think it's the stuff. Sometimes I think it's the connection. They just want to talk to another human. So they order this stuff. So they're talking to an operator, and then maybe they don't have good relationships with their family or whatever. So maybe they don't get stuff in the mail. Now all of a sudden they're getting all this mail. They're getting correspondence from everything. And then now it's morphed into, now you don't have to go to the store and have people look at you. You can have it. You can shop online and have it delivered right to your house. It's kind of like it's kind of like when the internet came out in porn. You know, the guys don't have to go to the seedy theaters anymore. You can sit in your own home and watch it. And I think that's a lot to do that has fueled some of the fire with compulsive people that have an issue. Is I think the ease of it with Amazon now, you can get it in 24 hours. I mean, you don't even have to wait that long to have it delivered. If they can drone it over, they can drone it over, you know?
I think with the internet and the capabilities of being able to shop online, I think that's probably equally spread out between both genders now at this point.
But, you know, my thing is I feel sorry for people like that, but I'm also thankful for people like that, because I think a lot of the things that we sell, sometimes we sell probably to people that have issues.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because we sell some of the strangest things. And I'm just thinking, I don't understand why somebody would want this, but.
Right.
Yeah. Why do I wear my, shoes with my socks and then don't wash them and send it to them? I mean, I don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm amazed at sometimes of what people actually buy and the price. You know, during the fourth quarter, I had somebody buy a 28 ounce can of enchilada sauce, 1 can. Okay. So it must've been a small order of enchiladas they made, and they spent $137 to have it shipped next day.
I remember talking about that.
That's crazy.
Well, Rob sold one of the things on Amazon he sold were diaper pail refills. They were a certain scent or whatever that they discontinued.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was getting them for, I think, like $1.50, $2. He was selling them for over $50 only because of a scent. I mean, come on, I could get used to a different scent than to spend that much money on a diaper pail refill. It was ridiculous.
Right.
Yes, reselling to porn. Yes, I did, Chris.
But I think it was Era.
All about sex.
The laundry detergent Era is going for like $80 a bottle. I mean,
ridiculous. Well, look at Rev Resale talking about the Minident, the toothpaste that sold for so much a tube, you know, because it was discontinued and stuff. It's amazing what people will pay for stuff. I don't understand it, but again, I'm glad they're there.
There's I don't know if you guys know this or not. Like a lot of the like 80s and 70s stuff, there are movie companies that are buying this stuff to put in there as props.
Yeah, we've sold quite a few things to Hollywood, to different studios, to the prop departments and stuff in the past.
I sold a compact Apple Compact 364 or whatever it was called from like one of the it was the second computer that Apple made from back in the 70s. And I had found it here where I live in a dumpster 4 blocks from the beach where I was living in these apartments. And this was probably about 6 or 7 years ago. And I shipped it to Hollywood. And it was like $300. I sold it. And it worked. It just was kind of dingy because it had that white, dingy colored look to it. But it went to Hollywood, California. So maybe it's going to be in a movie somewhere. It already has been. I don't know.
Old school picker.
Yeah.
He dropped your link in there, I think, Lisa.
Thank you. Yep. Reselling is sexy, so there you go. Making reselling sexy again.
Yeah, sex sells.
But you know, the thing that, and here's I don't know, you know, the women, I think a lot of the women that buy the stuff, and if you're going by that way, is not resellers. I think a lot of the guys you see in Goodwills and stuff now that are going through the clothing are resellers. And that's,
I agree with that. I think the you see men buying stuff, I think more of them are going to be apt to be resellers, where the women are doing it for more of an emotional issue where, you know, I've been into people's homes before. You talked about, you know, them not wanting to open the doors, and you see stuff sitting in bags that's never been taken out of the bags. To me, that's somebody that has a problem, because even Rob and I, even with all the stuff we have, when we bring stuff home, we go through it. Now we may put it in another box that then gets put out in the garage because it has issues or it needs research, but we go through everything. But that's what you see when you watch these shows, the hoarder shows. You see bags and boxes that people don't even open. They just get them and just stack them up. And I think that's the people that truly have, you know, a buying disorder.
And you know, the crazy thing about it is and this is terrible. Okay. But I go to them houses, I'll write down the address, and when I see an estate sale coming up, I know to go to that one.
Shame on you.
You know, I mean, because most of the people I deliver to like that are really, really older, and they live alone.
Yep. Yep.
And one of the things I was looking at, the word shopaholic came up. So I guess that's just the shorter term. And then, or was the original
that
one?
term for a long time, though. I mean,
Yeah, that was probably the original one.
You know, I mean, people used to say that about women all the time, you know, stereotypical woman that didn't have a job back in the day. That's all she did was she went out and she shopped and she spent her husband's money.
Right.
Yes. And I can't say that I wouldn't have done that if I had a husband that, you know, if we had enough money where that I probably would have been the same way, because shopping for me is a way to, the way I can deal with stress.
Yeah, it says that. Yeah, it says that. It says compulsive shopaholics who shop when they're feeling emotionally distressed.
Yes. I used to go on, and what I started doing is, because I realized I had a problem, is I would go in and I would shop on some of these sites and I would put stuff in my basket. I just wouldn't purchase. So I still get kind of the thrill of shopping and going through that process, but I don't spend any money.
Right. And then you have collectors too. So that's kind of like, you got to think about the shopaholic, the compulsive urge to buy, kind of like the trophy shopaholic. They like the flashy stuff. Then you've got the collector. I mean, there's all these different categories of people. And it's basically, if you really were to think about it, it's the society that we live with or live in the Western civilization. It makes everybody else in the world envious to some point or some degree, because, you know, I can't think of a country, unless someone can tell me what country on the planet doesn't wish they could have what the American people have, as far as it comes to freedoms and things of that nature, capitalism in itself. I don't know. I get disgusted by it sometimes because of the amount of waste that we create.
Mhm.
But that's a little off topic. But yeah.
Yeah, Lauren says she thrifts for therapy, but only buy for profit. And that's a great, if you can do that, that's the winning recipe right there, is to be able to use it that way.
And there's another problem I have too, and I don't know if you guys have it too. When you go to look up something and you see that there's maybe a small profit there, but you're like, well, maybe this will go up. So maybe I don't want to pass it up because it might go up in price. You know what I mean? I mean, I might be able to make $3 or $4 on it, but if I hold on to it a little bit, then maybe it'll go up.
I think of that when I do my books and do items on Amazon. At some point, when I hold my price, I'm waiting for those lower prices of the same item to sell out. You know, I go into the stores where the people are selling on Amazon. I go into their stores and I try to see how many of the quantity of that particular item they have remaining. And depending on how many they have, or go to keepa.com, it kind of tells you underneath their little listings how many they may have in stock. And you know, a lot of them are FBA, so they can replenish them. But I always play that card and look to see where my competitor is. That's important.
You guys want to know something? Is I don't price things. I don't check prices when I buy stuff. I just buy. I do totally buy my gut. I always have. I refuse to look stuff up. And my good buys outdo my bad buys. Not to say I don't ever buy anything that's not a good buy, but again, this isn't new items. We're talking about used. But Rob doesn't buy anything hardly without looking it up. But I don't buy anything else.
He doesn't want to lose any money
because I guess he figures I'm already losing enough. I don't know. But yeah, I buy all my stuff with my gut. I don't look anything up.
I mean, do you guys mind to hold stuff for the price to go up?
No.
I mean,
for me, it's the size of the item.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
yeah,
I don't want to hold something that's going to take up, a big space because we don't have that big space.
Right.
But
and then, see, like when it was made too, how far back, if it's vintage or something.
Mm-hmm.
See, like this right here, these lightsabers. Whoops. I picked up like 5, I think it was 5 or 6 of these, but you can see what.
Press yellow for fun Star Wars sounds.
For $209.
Press red.
Yeah.
I know there's another Star Wars movie coming out, so I'm like, if I buy them now, then I can wait till the next movie comes out and then sell it for a higher price.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, but I mean, it's just stuff like that. I was like, yes, I want to get it, and I mean, I do that on a few things.
Depending on how many listings you have open, you see with us, I would go ahead and put it in my store and just put it at a higher price.
Yeah.
Because I have the room, because we're down to about 6,800 right now. So I have 3,200 listings available to me.
But the problem is I'll get it back to my place. I'm like, man, I need to list this other stuff before I even went up and bought them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
After you buy it, then you get back to your place where you store it, and you're looking like, why did I buy that? I mean, I could hold on to it, or I could have listed 25 of my own items and probably sold them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right. I've always had the mentality of saying to myself, it's easier to sell 100 things for $1 than it is to sell one thing for $100.
That's
because at the end of the day, you're not going to get that $100 for that item. It's going to end up being lowballed to the point where you're going to get 80. No one's going to haggle you. Well, there are some cultures that will. Excuse me. No one's going to haggle you over $1.
I mean, that's been Rob's philosophy, and I know that it goes against a lot of people's, but because of what we do and how we get our items, we're able to do that. We're able to sell for volume.
Right.
I'm okay with $10. I try not to sell for less than that. I mean, I do for some of my craft books, but then I usually get multiple orders for those. But I try not to sell for less than $10. But you have to think, for us, $10. Some of the stuff I'm only paying 10 cents for. Some stuff I'm paying a nickel for. So and we sell multiple items. We average 15 to 20 items a day. So we're still making the money. And it's not items that are hard to ship either. That's another people say, well, what about the time it takes you to ship? Well, Rob's been doing shipping for so long. If he's got his items right there, most of the time it takes him longer to find everything than it does. And that's only because we have things spread. It's not because it's hard to find. It's just we have them spread out all over the house. We're trying to get that more organized in the garage once we get that cleaned out to move most of our inventory out there. So it'll be in order. So it's not in 4 different rooms.
Well, that's one of the things I've always kind of said to myself when I was physically doing labor for myself as a company. I would charge people for my time. Mm-hmm. But when I sell online, the idea is to make money while I sleep. So as long as I'm awake, I can work, and I don't calculate how much time I spend on making money for myself. I calculate the percentile that I'm going to make per item. And then when I started jumping into the Amazon platform and realizing that in addition to other things on Amazon's platform and how they make money, the number, whatever it is out of 10 that they make money is by volume and selling things in volume. That's why people do wholesale and bulk and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. And we've all 3 of us even stated this, that we like to buy in bulk. It's easier to deal with. You do make money that way.
I try to do my philosophy, and that's what I like about reselling is everybody's philosophy can be different.
Right.
But I try to do 60% under $10 and 40% over $10. That way, when I'm doing sales during a weekend, I got that mixture of high dollar sales and low dollar sales. Mm-hmm. And there'll be like 4 or 5 days where a high dollar item won't sell, but I'll sell 10 lower dollar item sales. At least I get the feeling of, look, I'm doing something, I'm shipping something out, or I could say like I did in December, and I only sold, I think it was 6 items, but they was all around that $40 or $50 mark. But in the month of January, I sold 77 items in the month of January. Mm-hmm. It was I think it was 45 was the $10 lower items. Now that I wouldn't have if I wanted to change my business model for that. Because I was watching video after video. They're like, oh, you know, at a certain point, you should stop selling low dollar items and start moving up to a higher profit margin. But, I'm fine with selling, 55 items under $10.
I think lower price items, I think you have, Mac, I think that's true to a certain extent. I've always liked what I call teasers. It's like baiting the fish hook and luring that bass out of its realm, is get those lower priced items on there and not saturated to the point where, you've got too many of them, but it draws people in. I do that all the time with Amazon. I sell candy for hella cheap just to get the people in the store. And then they can see if they take the time. And, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But, there's cost to doing business. And if you can lower the price of something to bring somebody a good deal, they're going to say, what else is this guy got?
Right.
That's how I feel.
And especially if you combine shipping and you give them breaks on shipping.
Yeah.
Which is what I do with my craft ladies. And so they come in and they might go, wow, $3.50 to ship that little booklet, that's kind of high. But if I buy 2, then it's not that expensive.
Yeah, right.
3, it's even cheaper. You just keep going, and that's where I get a lot of multiple sales. Is they'll buy 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, whatever. So
I make a lot of sales on Amazon by undercutting the prime qualification threshold. I think it's $25 that someone has to spend in order for them to get the free shipping. So when I do my calculations, depending on some other factors, I will go in there and I will cut Amazon's throat by a penny just to sell whatever it is that I'm selling. And they do the same thing. Yeah. That computer bot that they have is calculated to their lowest price. And there was a time last summer where I was selling Otter Pops. And I was selling them so fast. I was driving around all of the lower portion of San Diego, to the Albertsons, to the Vons, to the Smart & Finals, to the Ralphs, buying every single box they had on the shelf. And I would immediately increase my inventory, and I was selling them out of the back of my car from Amazon before I could even get them home and ship. And Amazon, I was selling them for one box of 100 Otter Pops, and they come, obviously not frozen. And the reason I'm telling you this is I'm not going to sell them again because Amazon.
Oh, I know. I knew you would, because I know Rob would be the same way. He would rather die than tell you something.
Yeah. Amazon sells them, so you're going to get screwed. So good luck with that. But I was selling them for $23.99 a box. I was buying them on sale for $3.99, and then Amazon came in and started undercutting it. At the time, I was being competitive with them. They were selling them for $11.49. Now, I honestly can say that you cannot ship a box of Otter Pops in a shoebox from the USPS for less than $10, depending, especially if it goes to the East Coast.
Yeah.
So there's no money in that.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed that ride. That was $7,000 in Otter Pops I made. Very nice.
Wow.
Kid Steal Some More. She made a good comment about she believes that you should have a balance of both, and I do too. And I agree with what Mac was saying. You want to have some high dollars in there, but you also want to have the other, what I call our bread and butter stuff that sells every day. And our goal has always been, we want to sell one big thing a day and then a bunch of small stuff. And then it's usually easy peasy to hit our target every day.
Well, like with Mac, he sells the media.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough market. And, that's an easy sell for a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, I get scared of selling DVDs because of the fact that everyone does the live streaming now, or not live streaming, but the streaming on the internet or Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah. So see, I don't do any promotions on my DVDs either. I mean, I don't promote them. I do promotions, but I don't promote them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I do a thing to where if you buy 3, you get 1 free. And then I combine the shipping too. I mean, on that, because I never charged shipping for anything.
Right.
And December 31st, I said, well, this hasn't been working for me for the past year. So I'm going to change it up and try something different.
Mm-hmm.
And December 31st, I ended all my listings on all my movies, DVDs, video games, and switched over and listed 100 of them between December 31st and January 1st. Well, that whole January, I think I listed 150 in January. I sold 55 in January of that with shipping. And it came out that I was selling them more with the shipping than I was without the shipping.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I didn't understand, but I've had 4 people combine more than 3 sets of DVDs.
Now, Mac, what is the most you'll pay for a single DVD?
I try to get them at 35 cents.
Wow. That's so cheap.
That's like with me with my VHS, I get them for a nickel. That's why I sell them, because I can get them. And I'm very selective with what I get. But
that's crazy.
I still get, at a nickel, I can sell them for $5 but I try to sell them in multiples. So, and I will tell you one thing that's helped me, and I got this from Tommy Bernard, and he told me one night him and Lonnie and Tracy sat down, and it's changing your shipping to a flat rate, not a flat rate envelope or something like that, but like my media for up to 1 pound, I charge $3 as a flat rate, which is actually, I think, about 24 cents more than if they pay the regular media mail price of $2.75, but it doesn't show calculated. So when people look in there, they know their shipping's going to be $3. And since I changed that over, some of my old stuff that had been here for years is literally just, we're selling stuff every day. We're just like clearing stuff out, and it's great. But the only difference is that I changed the shipping from calculated to a flat rate. I have a flat rate for first class stuff. I have a flat rate for media, and I have a flat rate for 1 to 2 pounds that I send priority, which is mostly my glass.
Right.
Yeah. See, my media, I charge a flat rate of $3.05, and that $3.05, it cost me $2.80 to send it, but that $3.05 will cover the PayPal fee.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why I do it. It covers that 30 cents for the PayPal fee.
Well,
that was the reason why
I charge $3. That's what I charge, a flat $3 for my media. But it seems like people are buying it quicker than when I had calculated. And if they'd bought it or calculated, it'd have been like $2.76.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes no sense that people are buying, other than the fact that they can see that flat rate. They like having that flat rate and know what they're paying up front.
Crony, just to touch on Crony's question, with the selling of the books with free shipping, depending on the weight of the book, with shipping such as the media that Lisa and Mac are talking about, it's at a lower rate on the shipping cost, and the book falls within that category of shipping. So you could send out, books, relatively inexpensive and free shipping, because books are where I live, books are probably the cheapest thing compared to VHS and DVDs. A VHS tape here in California would cost somebody at a non-garage sale type environment. If you went to a thrift store, it'd be $1. DVDs go from God knows, from like $1.99 up to $16.99, depending on what it is, if it's a series or whatever. California people in thrift stores, they're just insane, unless it's a mom and pop kind of thrift. But books are relatively cheap. People give them away, they throw them away. Garage sales, you can get them for a dime. I mean, I get a serious eyeball hard on for books that are cheap like that, because I know that once I can get them home and scan them, I'm making money on it. So I incorporate the shipping in the price.
And see, the store that I get those nickel VHS at, they also have nickel clothes, nickel tops, nickel pants.
What? Wow.
50 cents for anything that's denim. But I can buy a suit jacket for a nickel.
Now, see, what I do is I'm kind of on my media, I don't buy them from a certain store. I kind of Skype Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the children's DVDs, and it happened that the guy had it on there it said over 2 weeks. He had it on there for $40. I said, look, I'll give you 25, take it off your hands. And I think we met at I think it was 30. And that's when, I sold the John Deere DVDs for $67. And then also on the bottom of it had a P90X I just sold this past weekend for $30.
Yeah.
Now I got another.
Pricey.
Yeah, they are. But I got another probably 35 or 40 kids DVDs that I got now. That's all just profit.
Yeah.
If I, anything that I sell, if it's, I kind of go like real low value. Like a lot of my DVDs, if there's more than 100 of them, I just charge $1.49, and then the $3.05 shipping. That's what I charge for them. And like I said, it's been working, and I'll make 98 cents on that. But that, it took me, I could list 35 or 40 of them in an hour. All I do, my DVDs, I just take a picture of the front cover. That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And throw it on a shelf.
President Valley brought in the good deal too with the vinyl.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah, vinyl used to only be $1 regardless. Now people are actually taking the time and looking at them and charging them.
I know you guys are old enough to remember. Do you remember going into the record stores? Just the smell of all that vinyl in there.
Yep.
Tower Records here in San Diego. Yeah.
Smokies.
Yeah.
Smokies was the one I went to.
I used to love to go to the record shop at the Navy base when I was growing up, because of course there were sailors there. It was dark and it was kind of dingy, but you go in there and the walls were bright yellow and the albums were all over the wall and you could just smell all that. It was awesome. It was an experience.
There's a thrift shop by chain thrift shop, and they have a room where they hire 4 people, and all they do is look up on eBay and Amazon pricing.
Yeah.
And that's how they had like a notorious, it was some rap crew, NWA vinyl record, put it out there for $55 for a vinyl record, because not the solds, but the listings on eBay was that price.
Yeah. We sit here and we talk about the things we source, and we go to thrifts and things things like that. And Goodwill's probably the number one thrift that's got probably the most well-known publicity, makes the most money, has insane prices. But they look online based on what we are selling on eBay. They watch YouTube videos to study what resellers are thinking about, and they apply it to their business plan. Their business plan is changing daily, if not hourly, based upon what's online. And that's the sad thing, because the prices online you're selling convenience, and the product is free. And that's how I see it. Like with Amazon and eBay, I'm selling you something that may have brought you back to your childhood. Like for me, I'm in this collecting of the cassette tapes and going through, and that brings me back to certain things. And even with the vinyl, I'm looking for when I was a kid.
Sure.
I want the record player I had. I want all those CDs I had when they first came out. So I think it's wrong that now that the Goodwill is capitalizing on that, and it makes it hard for us to go and source. As Jen mentioned, that some of the prices in the thrift stores, even where she's at, is crazy.
Well, I don't have nothing against them for doing that. I mean, that's they're just trying to profit off the market like we are. But I mean, and that's where you have to come in, and you have to spread your knowledge on items, because you can't. I mean, if you're just a clothing person, you need to go into the electronic parts. You need to learn. I mean, you already got the knowledge of how to look the stuff up and see the stuff.
It's there.
I mean, you do it. Like I bought a Sony boombox, and I don't know how they did not price it, but I paid $14.99 for it, and the only other one that ever sold on eBay was $49.99.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, so I'm just going to list it for $149. If somebody offers me $99, I'll take it.
Those are the items you got to find. That's why I still go to Goodwill. I'm waiting for the slip. I'm waiting for that crack of the San Andreas Fault to open up, and I'm going to pick what I'm going to get out of that. And if I walk out with one item, then that's it.
That's the only reason we go to a regular Goodwill, is to find the mistakes they make.
Yeah.
Honestly,
that treasure.
You can't buy the other stuff because they've got it priced, too much at retail. But I
think that's what drives me more, right? Does it drive you more to go?
Yeah, it does. But
it's more of a hunt. It really is.
The thing about having two people with Rob and I is I don't try and learn everything about electronics. I don't try to learn everything about vintage media. He doesn't try to learn anything about glass or the stuff that I buy. So when we go into those stores, we're able to split up, and we each have, our own little bit of expertise, if that's what we want to call it.
Right.
And I think we're able to get more than, a lot of people that are just segmented into one thing where they're not comfortable in doing other things.
So when you go into the thrift stores and you're not into Bensley's, do you look for price or do you look for brand first?
Brand. I look at brand, and then I'll look at price.
Yeah. Because you go by your gut feeling, so you'd have to go by brand. Rob would look at price first, I bet.
Honestly, before I even look at brand, I look at items. I look at and I know what catches my eye, but I think I got a darn good eye, because I like an eclectic bit of stuff. I'm not focused in on just one style of clothes or just one style of glass. So I kind of look for something unusual, something different, something that I don't see every time I go into a thrift store. And that's what I gravitate towards first. And then from there, I'll branch out and start looking brand. And, but I never shop by price. I don't. I mean, because I think if it's not the right brand, it's not going to matter what price it is.
Right. I think that can be dangerous though, because if you're shopping, and I've done this in the past when they first started years ago, I was buying things that I liked. And I bought a lot of antiques, a lot of milk glass, probably about 15 so years ago. And it was a dead market. Now it's starting to pick, like it goes in cycles.
Right.
So it's like one of those things that I had a ton of antiques and I sold them cheap. And now I probably could have gotten a pretty good mint for them. But just to have to hang on to them for that long would have costed me more than what it was worth to get, to liquidate.
When I go back and I'm looking at, when I bring stuff home and I look something up and I'm like, wow, that's really not the price point I would have liked to it have been. It's not as much. then I know I'll stay away from that. I mean, I do, I try to learn every time. We really do. When we come in, we look up everything we've got to see what he already knows, because he's already looked all his stuff up on the phone. But, I look my stuff up, and then I will change how I might buy the next time, because I've looked the comps up and I see what's selling. And so, okay, but I'm constantly revising the things I'm looking for, because I'm constantly in eBay looking up solds and looking at what's popular in some of my favorite categories.
Yeah, I'm the kind of guy that you guys probably hate on Facebook. When I see something 2 weeks, you've listed it for more than 2 weeks. I'll you have like 70 CDs, and I put $20 in a picture of a $20 bill and say I'll offer you this.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get it, and sometimes I'll get a few words say to me that I shouldn't. But it's worth a chance.
The biggest find we had with cassettes was I go through Craigslist. I look at the free stuff.
Yeah.
I was in the free listing, and it was free furniture. Okay, I don't need furniture, but let me just see what's there. And it was a cabinet that was full of cassettes, and I forget what Rob calls them. They're not hard rock, but they're something else. They're some kind of, I don't know. But anyway, so like Anthrax and stuff. What do you call that?
Heavy metal?
Probably, I guess. So I called the guy and I said, I don't want the furniture, but I'd love to get the cassettes in the cabinet. And he said, I bought this on foreclosure. It's open. You go out there, you take whatever you want. Doors aren't locked. So Rob and I couldn't get out there fast enough. And we went out there, and the place is just trash. I mean, there's clothes everywhere. I mean, you think you hear banjos playing in the back. It was bad. And we have a video of it, because I'm expecting to find dead bodies and everything. It's crazy. So I'm in there. It took us a while to find it, because it was in the kitchen. Who puts their cassettes in the kitchen? But anyway, and we're trying to take them out there as fast as we can. We get them back. There's about 500. I think there was about 150 that went into one certain genre that he put them in, and they sold for almost $500. That was totally free. It just cost us gas to get out there and back.
Wow. And
the guy said, whatever's not gone by Tuesday, I think we went on a Sunday, is going to the dump. Those would have went to the dump.
Bye, Jen.
Hi, Jenny.
Now we're thinking about it. I think I'm a 4 on that scale now.
Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and start winding this down just a little bit. I promised my wife a little breakfast, and it's almost lunchtime, so I gotta stick to my guns. We're gonna have a little brunch, little breakfast burrito brunch. I need to talk to her anyway about her spending habits, so we need to have a little breakfast meeting. So, the topic today was good. I think we could probably go more and more. I have to be the first to raise my hand and say I'm actually seeking help. I go in on the 5th of March to sit down with a shrink and see where the problem is. See, because I don't want him here. I think it's a him. I don't want him to tell me, oh, well, it's due to your childhood. I'm not trying to mask anything that's happened to me as a kid, even though this will be for another time. My biological mother was married to a serial killer that is still behind bars at this moment. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm crazy. I don't know. Who knows? But I want to thank Mac for coming in and showing us his little area and his garage, which all in all, dude, I don't think it looks that bad. I want your totes though. I have to admit, those are nice totes. Yeah. I want to thank Lisa and Rob for showing up today, and Rob's out doing his hustle at a pawn. Is it a porn store or a pawn shop?
You know what? He said pawn, but I could be wrong. Who knows?
Yeah. So I want to thank Lisa for coming in today. That was great. And everyone in the chat. I appreciate everyone's time today. You guys are really supportive. And this is a topic that will probably continue later on, and we'll just touch on it. I love hearing the stories and the experience, and you guys are really awesome. So everyone,
Foster,
make sure we follow Mac and Lisa if you haven't already. I think I've only seen a few newbies in here, but for the pre-recorded version, if you haven't, take a look at some of the names that are in here. There's a lot of knowledge on this panel and in the chat. There's a ton of people that sell specific things, and it's just wonderful to be encompassed with all the people that are here. So I want to say thank you guys for coming in, and I will see you guys later. And have a good day.
All righty. Thank you for having us.
No problem. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that ends today's live with Lisa and Mac, and we had a brief visit with Sunny over there in Vegas, and Brandon's on vacation. And I think what we'll do next Wednesdays, we'll have Brandon maybe jump in. If not, we'll do another panel. I totally encourage anybody who's in the chat next time to jump on in, share your knowledge with us, and we'll try to make it as pleasant as possible. And then, be aware and be on the alert, because you never know when the lobster is going to come back on. And usually they like to stroll in the nighttime. So keep an eye open for any lives that come up. And we're going to go through some more bins we found. We've got some antiques in mind, and I'll show you the progress behind Old Glory over here of the backdrop. So I want to thank you guys for coming in today. I'm going to head out and go have some breakfast with the wifey. I'll see you guys on the next one. The hustle is a grind. Thank you for your time.